At 2:17 a.m., my phone lit up. No subject line, no greeting. Just one sentence: we need to discuss your influence over Daniel. Family meeting Sunday, be there. Victor, my brother-in-law. And just like that, the fragile piece I'd built this past year cracked wide open. I'm Sophia Mitchell. Until that moment, I thought the worst of the Chase family drama was behind me. I was wrong. Because when Victor sends an email at 2 in the morning, it's not just a message, it's a warning. The next morning, I clutched my coffee like a lifeline. Rain slid down the windows of our Seattle apartment, cold, gray, relentless. Daniel walked in fresh from his shower. He smiled until he saw my face. "You look like you've seen a ghost." I didn't answer, just slid my phone across the counter. He read. His eyes darkened. "This is insane. You're not influencing me against anyone." "Try telling that to Victor," I said. "He thinks I'm the reason you left the company. Not your conscience. Me." Daniel sighed. "I'll call him." "No." I placed my hand over his. "We can't play this emotionally. Victor isn't angry, he's calculated. This is strategy." Victor Chase, legal director of Chase Biotech, Daniel's older brother, and the most dangerous man in that family. He doesn't move unless it benefits him. And this family meeting, it's his opening move? 2 months ago, Daniel walked away from the company his grandfather built. He chose something different, real environmental work. Integrity over legacy. That decision shook the board. A seat opened up. A seat Victor wants. And the person standing in his way? Me. My phone buzzed again. Nora Coffee at Evergreen in 30. Need your PR brain. Nora King, my best friend, a relentless journalist, and the only person who truly knew what I was up against. Daniel looked over my shoulder. "Go," he said. "We'll deal with Victor after." I nodded, but I already knew. This wasn't just family drama. It was a storm, and I was standing dead center. What Victor didn't know, I'd been preparing. For a year, I'd been recording every family meeting, every lie, every power play. Recordings he never knew existed. And now, they might be the only thing standing between the truth and total ruin. Evergreen Cafe hummed with soft energy. Steam hissed from the espresso machine. A toddler giggled somewhere nearby. Nora was already in our corner booth, 2 sips into her latte, laptop open like a general's war map. "You look like hell," she said without looking up. "Good morning to you too." I slid into the seat across from her and handed her my phone. She read the message, her brow arched. "Family meeting. That's serious. What triggered it?" Daniel left Chase Biotech. Victor thinks I pulled the strings to sabotage him. "Did you—" I gave her a look. She shrugged. "Would that really be so bad?" "Daniel's hated it for years," I said. "He wants to help clean energy startups. He needed to leave. I didn't push, but I didn't stop him either." "So you didn't light the match," Nora said. "But you didn't douse the flames." I looked down at my coffee. Cold again. "This isn't just about leaving the company," I murmured. Victor's spinning a story. And in it, I'm the manipulative outsider. In his eyes, she said softly, "You always were." The word hung in the air, outsider. But Nora wasn't done. "This isn't about Daniel. It's about the board." I looked up. "If Daniel's gone, his seat is open. And Olivia's next, right?" I nodded. "And Olivia listens to you." The truth hit like a punch. Victor didn't just want a seat. He wanted control. And I was in his way. "I have to go to that meeting," I said. "You're not going in empty-handed," Nora said, leaning in. "Proof. Something to flip the script." "What kind of proof?" "Of who Victor really is." She slid a folder toward me. "Have you looked into the Novatech partnership?" I blinked. "The medical testing deal Chase Biotech's supplying software." Nora's voice dropped. "The same software that keeps showing up in my investigation into patient privacy violations." My stomach twisted. "You think Victor's involved?" "I think he pushed that deal through right after Daniel raised red flags. That timing's not a coincidence." I remembered the arguments, Daniel begging for tighter controls. Victor brushing him off. Efficiency over ethics. You think Daniel left because of Novatech? I do. I sat back, heart racing. If that's true, this isn't family drama anymore. It's criminal. Nora's eyes locked on mine. And those recordings you told me about? Do any of them mention Novatech? I hesitated, then nodded. She lit up. Then this isn't self-defense anymore. It's evidence. I stared out at the rain-specked glass. I started recording after last Thanksgiving, I said. Victor twisted everything I said. I needed proof I wasn't crazy. Turns out, Nora said your proof might protect a lot more than just you. For the first time in a long time, I felt it clarity. Victor wanted to control the narrative, but I still had time to take it back. And this time, I was ready to speak. The confrontation. By Saturday night, our living room looked like a war room. Laptop open, headphones on, notebooks scattered with scribbled timestamps and bullet points. Daniel and I sat in silence, listening to Victor's voice echo from a dozen past family meetings, each one dripping with subtle sabotage. He was careful always, but not careful enough. This is worse than I thought, Daniel finally said, his voice low. He's been planting seeds for months, blaming you, twisting every word. And Dad, he just went along with it. I closed my laptop. Victor knew exactly what he was doing. Make me look divisive, emotional, manipulative. Make me the wedge that split the family when all I ever did was ask questions. He used you as a distraction, Daniel said bitterly, so no one would look too closely at him. He's counting on that again tomorrow, I said. But this time, we're ready. We sat there for a long moment, letting the weight of it settle over us. Daniel turned to me. If we play those recordings during the meeting, it won't just be about Victor anymore. It'll tear the family apart. I nodded. And your dad's health isn't great. That kind of blow coming from his own son? We need another way. What if we confront Victor privately, I offered. Before the meeting, show him we know everything. Give him a choice, own up, or we do it for him. Daniel raised an eyebrow. You think he'll confess just because we ask nicely? No, I said, but it gives us the high ground. And if he refuses, we hit play. For a long time, he said nothing. Then he nodded. I'll call him. Ask him to meet early at the lake house. The lake house, the Chase family's private retreat. Glass walls, cedar beams perched above a gray-blue lake that always looked colder than it felt. It had been the backdrop to countless family dinners, holidays, even our engagement celebration. Now it would host something else entirely, a reckoning. The next morning, the rain didn't stop. It came down in sheets, the road slick and winding as we drove through the forested hills toward the lake. Daniel's hands were tight on the wheel. His knuckles had gone white. He agreed to meet too easily, I said. He's planning something. He thinks we're walking into his trap, Daniel muttered. He wants to be alone with us. No witnesses. Then, let's make sure we're the ones holding the match. When the lake house finally came into view, a familiar unease bloomed in my chest. Victor's car, a black Tesla, was already parked in the driveway. Control tactic, Daniel said. He always arrives first. We stepped inside, boots-wet laptop bag heavy in my hand. Victor was waiting for us in the great room, standing by the tall windows that overlooked the gray lake. He didn't smile. You're late, he said. Actually, you're early, Daniel replied, calm as stone. Victor's eyes flicked to my laptop bag. What's that evidence I said? Let's talk. He gave a short, mirthless laugh. Evidence of what? That you've manipulated my brother into walking away from everything our family built. That's not why I left, Daniel said, stepping forward. And you know it. This is about Novatech, I added. For a fraction of a second, Victor's expression cracked. A flicker, a twitch. Then it was gone. I see, he said, moving to pour himself a drink. He didn't offer us one. Patient privacy violations, Daniel continued. You're leading the company into dangerous territory. The software you approved, it's designed to make non-compliant data look compliant. That's not streamlining. That's deception. Victor turned, holding his glass. You have no proof of that. I heard you, I said. 3 weeks ago, talking to Lawrence. Your exact words. It makes the data look compliant even when it isn't. Victor went still, then slowly, deliberately set down his glass. Eavesdropping, he said. How classy. Not eavesdropping, I said. Recording. Silence. Absolute and suffocating. Victor's jaw clenched. You recorded me. I recorded family meetings, I replied. For protection. After you lied about what I said last Thanksgiving, I wasn't going to let you twist my words again. His face darkened. That's illegal. Washington is a one-party consent state, Daniel said flatly. Perfectly legal. Victor stared at us, cold, calculating. What do you want? He asked. Daniel didn't hesitate. At today's meeting, you're going to take it all back. Publicly. You'll say Sophia had nothing to do with my leaving, and you'll admit there are issues with the Novatech deal. Victor laughed a bitter, broken sound. And destroy everything I've worked for. The money, the partnerships, the legacy. A legacy built on lies isn't worth protecting, I said. He turned away from us toward the windows, watching the rain streak down the glass like prison bars. When he faced us again, the mask was back on. What if I agree? He said. What happens to the recordings? We don't play them, I said. We don't involve the rest of the family. And Nora, he asked, your journalist friend. She's already looking, I said. But the recordings stay with me until the company deals with Novatech properly. Victor exhaled sharply, adjusting his tie. Outside, we heard the crunch of tires on gravel. The rest of the family had arrived. Victor looked at us one last time. Fine, he said. I'll do it. But not for you, for the company. And just like that, he walked out to greet them. His voice calm, his smile rehearsed. Daniel looked at me. You don't trust him. Not for a second, I whispered. But now, we control the next move. Daniel hadn't said a word since we left the city. He just kept both hands tight on the wheel, his jaw-clenched eyes fixed on the road like it might shift beneath us. He agreed too quickly, I said, breaking the silence. Daniel gave a stiff nod. Victor thinks he has the upper hand. Alone with us, no one else around. He's expecting to intimidate us into silence. But this time, I said quietly, we're not walking in unarmed. The lake house came into view, a glass and cedar monument to family pride. Beautiful cold and eerily quiet. Victor's Tesla still sat in the driveway like a shark in still water. Daniel parked beside it. We sat for a moment listening to the rain. Ready, he asked. No, I said. But let's do it anyway. Inside, Victor stood in the great room exactly where we'd left him by the windows, hands in his pockets, staring out at the mist-shrouded lake like it might hold all the answers. You're early? He said again dryly. You're stalling, Daniel replied. I walked in, set the laptop bag on the coffee table, but didn't unzip it yet. Victor's eyes landed on it. You brought your little recordings? They're not little, I said. And they're not just about family squabbles anymore. Victor turned to the wet bar, poured himself something dark and expensive. Again, he didn't offer us any. Novatech is the best thing that's happened to this company in a decade, he said coolly. You think this moral crusade of yours will fix anything? Or just burn it all down? Daniel stepped forward. This isn't about being righteous. It's about being legal. You knew what Novatech was doing. You helped them. You built the tool that lets them cover their tracks. Victor didn't respond. He took a long sip from his glass. I unzipped the bag, pulled out the laptop. The moment the screen lit up, the atmosphere shifted. Victor's posture straightened. His tone sharpened. You really plan to use that? I'd rather not, I said. But I will. What exactly do you think you have? I clicked on the first file. The one from last year's strategy dinner the moment Victor